We get started early.
There you go. There you go.
That's it.
Nice. You guys are doing great. Hit the percussions. There we go.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. Oh,
Hey,
man.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. One more time for the band. One more time for the band.
Oh, we got a band? We got a band?
Yeah. Give it for the
Thanks.
band.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, I'm glad that we
Nice.
finally got the budget for the band. I'll tell
Yeah.
you.
I'm glad we finally got the budget for a real audience.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Hey,
no.
next card. Next card.
Oh,
Take it.
um,
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So I see there's no pleasing you.
next.
Next card. That one didn't roll good. Next card.
Hey, listen.
They're not biting on that one. Go ahead. Let's go.
60% of the time, it works every time. Oh,
Yeah, that's not good either.
Yeah,
That's
it's a bad night.
tough crowd.
Bad night.
Tough
Apparently
crowd,
so.
man. Tough crowd.
Oh, let's see. Well, no, we got some time. I'm gonna show you guys a couple things on the pregame here.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Take a
Rotate
look
it
at-
out.
Yeah,
Let's
take
go.
a look at this. Hold
Oh,
on.
what are we looking at? What are we looking
Okay.
at? Oh,
Oh,
Look
What
at
we got?
look at this.
Okay.
This is new. This is they have a new
someone else-
line.
Hold on. Almost.
Oh,
We got a
oh,
request.
Oh, speaking of
Yeah.
that,
Someone wants to see the shirt. There we
Yeah.
go.
I
Yeah.
can't get up, but there's the top of a head right there. There's some eyes. Somebody's watching me. I always
Let's
feel
Yeah,
like
we gotta.
Let's see eyebrows.
You,
it's right near the. Okay, so here's this is the Star Wars. This is Micro Machines. You guys remember Micro Machines?
I do remember Micro
This
Machines.
is like Micro Galaxy. And this is check this out. This is just one of the things that I picked up. Look at this.
Wow.
This is a
Wow.
transport
Hey, why is it still in the
nice.
box? Is what I want to know.
everything's always still in the box. Never.
Man, I want to
never a
see.
dull
You
moment.
gotta take it out of
Anyway,
the box.
that's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
I love it, man.
It's
Speaking
very-
of Micro Machines, I didn't get this, but you brought it up. I've had it, but Moose, I don't know if you
Look
remember
at
these,
that.
Oh, look at this Micro Machines. Yeah,
That's
remember
old school
those.
right there.
That is
old
school. Hey, where'd you
Look
get
at
that
this.
at?
So that was a transport ship. I got something else here. Look at this one. Look at this.
That one right there. That one is nice right there.
Man, that's
That-
nice.
Yeah. Look at that. It comes with Chewie, Obi-Wan, Princess Leia, and
And the
yeah,
communication
you can
satellite.
see it's the size of my head. Look
Yes.
at that.
That's actually a pretty good size. That's not a
Man, that's
Micro
good
Machine.
stuff. So you should let us go first. I think you got me beat.
Yeah, he definitely got me beat. So don't worry about that.
Hey, listen. That's all right.
What else you got? You got more?
Let's-
You got
Yeah,
more?
yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
let me do two more.
All right.
Two more. Go ahead. All right. Your time's up. Next. Magic Mike, go ahead.
Take a look at this.
Hey, I almost picked that up. I almost picked that up.
Yeah, this is the child. He's a big
Oh,
pup.
Yes.
that is nice.
Yes,
that
I
is
almost
nice.
picked
Pup.
Yeah, they got a couple of that size too. I think they got a Pikachu and there was a, but I almost picked up and a group. I think
Love
they
it.
got a group.
I had to get him. It was either him or Biggie Smalls, so I just picked up him.
Okay.
And then
Some may argue about your choice, but okay.
I know.
Yeah.
But then I saw this on the way out. Actually, this is pretty fun here. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
What? Yeah, look at this. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah. Oh, what'd you say? Oh, right. And all. Yeah, still in the package.
Very cool. Very cool.
They have another one of these Lolas.
I'm glad you left that. I'm glad you left that in the package because I don't like when you send me the stuff out.
You don't like it when it's empty. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. But they have another Lola coming out. It's that one's like $40. They have another one that's going to be like $90. And so it's pretty cool. But it also says things and moves and all that other stuff. So just
Nice,
so you know.
nice.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
All right,
That's awesome.
since mine's is not that good, I'm gonna go next, Magic Mike.
Okay. All right.
right,
What's
go
up, Rob? What's up?
So here's something I found somewhere around
I
there.
can see it.
And
You're already
see-
peeking
yep,
there.
Yep. Yeah. You see this?
That looks familiar.
I can't
You
see
see
that.
that? But did you see?
Hey, let me
see-
help here. Let me help. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So there you go.
There we go.
All right, but watch
Ooh.
this.
Oh, I like
Oh
that.
man, that is nice.
I like that.
So-
Show me a little bit. Oh, that's sweet.
So I picked this. I walked in.
He can blind himself.
I walked into a store there, and I was like,
Where'd you get? Where? How'd you? How come you didn't send me one? That's what I want to know.
because I'm waiting for the one you sent me in the box to go in the same box back. So I need a return label. I don't know where you live.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No good.
Hey, so you saw I only have one. He had three. He had one for each of us.
That's right. Yes.
Thanks.
I'll take any of them, Moose. By the way,
I had 4, but thanks. That's a 4 sci-fi. Yes. Thanks.
Yes. So that's what I picked up. So
that's what you got. Okay, my turn then.
Yes.
All right.
Nice.
This is something that after Gigi's showing of his last time and where he got it from, so I went and I picked this up and then I finally put it together.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh, nice.
It's Mandalorian.
Nice.
I gotta tell you, I haven't put the stickers on, man. These you thought the ones for the Red Rogue 5 were bad. These are tiny stickers, and I couldn't do it.
He's a Red Rogue 5. Yeah,
Red Rogue.
Yes,
Red Rogue. Let me
Red
hold
5
it
standing
up.
by.
Magic Mike, hold it up back up.
Yeah. Now it comes with different accessories. So it comes with. So this is.
That's a pretty good size.
It is a pretty good size, and it comes with the dark saber as well. Different things you can have. Different hands you can put them on.
That was a model. You had to put it together.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. That actually
is very cool.
I might have to go and pick that one up. That's nice.
And then I got something else here. I picked this up. A little sticker of Groot. You know.
Oh, baby Groot.
Groot.
Yeah.
Groot. Yeah.
I am Groot.
But it came with something else. So hold on just a minute.
Dancing Groot. Show it to me.
Go ahead. He got the real Groot. He's gonna come up with the real Groot.
Here we go.
Top group. Nice.
Oh,
that's
I wanted to show him last week, but I was on the road, so I didn't have it with me. So,
man, he finds all the cool things.
Oh man, I don't know. I think
Moose gets all the cool things.
your Iron Man light.
That was pretty cool.
He's got to figure out how to work it. That would be the cool.
No, there's a setting where it blinks. So I'm like, I have to.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, we're right in your face. Yeah.
So,
Right in your face.
it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, just box that up and send it over to me.
And Rob says he got his Namor pop.
Sweet. Yeah, your Namor
yes,
pop, Rob.
That's right. Yeah, I'd like to comment on that because he did send it to us. He sent it to us and I showed you guys. Let me tell you something. That's the Namor I know, by the way. I just want you to know.
That's my name.
It was the original Submariner, Namor the Submariner, with the original rock eyebrows. So
hey,
that was
go ahead and
cool.
put Rob on so we can show us his. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
All right.
Go ahead, put Rob on the screen
so we can see his. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. How you do that?
Some technical. Oh, you know what? He just messaged me. He's got some technical. He's not in a. He's in a region where he can't be on screen. So next time, Rob, we'll get you on.
Oh yeah. So anyway, shopping's always a pleasure. I love shopping, and I love finding little knickknacks everywhere to show the podcast and put in a room or whatever you want to do with it. I love it. Hey, who's gonna buy me anything next? Anyone? Hey, I do want to talk about this though. The shirts. Listen, we do have some shirts. They're being made. They're being shipped. Actually, they're not being made any longer. They're being shipped, and they're on the way to the podcast. But we got to figure out how to get the shirts into people's hands that want shirts. We just got to figure out a good way of doing that.
Meet us in Salt Lake.
Yeah, and then meet us in Salt Lake.
If you want one, you'll be there.
We'll be in Salt Lake.
If you want one, you'll be there.
We'll be in Salt Lake.
September 22nd to the 24th.
Okay, there you go. 22nd, 23rd, 24th. There you go.
It's a good time to be in
If you're in Salt Lake, then come find us. We throw you a shirt.
Or hand it to you.
Hey, but if we do take a shirt, you gotta have the shirt. You gotta take a picture of it in the shirt and then send to us because we need that as proof.
If you're lucky, we might sign them.
Oh,
sign them, huh?
Huh.
Yeah. Put some value to them.
I need to work on my autograph. Hold on a second.
I gotta figure out how to have a signature. All right, let's get this party started. Let's get this show on the road.
Cue the music. Quiet on the set.
Time.
Isn't that why we have the countdown?
Yeah, that's how we have the countdown.
10 seconds.
All right, here we go. Can't watch Game God and actually talk, real life, She-Hulk has been introduced to Disney Plus. Also, the House of the Dragon has been introduced to HBO Max. I'm sure you had an opportunity of watching at least one of these. How about Obi-Wan behind the scenes? Did you think we were going to go so far without another Obi-Wan? Well, don't worry. You won't have to wait long.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Oh, that's right. We've got episode number 357 in the books officially right this moment. We've got the OGs here tonight. What am I going to call you guys? OGs?
I like OGs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
OGs.
What does that mean?
The original gamers.
Gamers.
Original
Yeah.
gamers. You had to think about that one way too long.
No, I emphasized original. That's what it was.
Thanks for
Oh,
joining.
is that what it was?
For on the on live. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. You can find us in both places. If you decide that you want to spend some time with your favorite podcast, and come on and join us and comment as much as you like. We'll throw your comments up, answer some questions, maybe even throw some merch your way.
That would be awesome. You know, I don't think we can use original gamers, Moose, because I think Game God has to change his name from Game God to original gamer. Because from what I understand, he doesn't play anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did retire.
Oh,
he was retired.
okay,
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah,
longer,
it's a hiatus. A hiatus.
Hiatus.
It's a hiatus.
What
I'm not-
brought this hiatus on, Game God?
You know, social media is such a hard thing. It takes a
Oh,
moment.
here we go. Here we go.
So, you know, it's one of those things where I got to give the fans what they want. I got to be out there in front of them and walk with them and talk with them, shake hands, take pictures. I mean, I can go on all day about this on this podcast, but it isn't about me. It's about Podcast for Sci-Fi. I just want to make sure.
Don't believe him. Please do not believe him.
Oh,
Did you guys hear that?
I don't know. I did hear a little bit.
Listen, you know it's from the right source if you hear that voice. So we know it's true.
Oh, let's see. Well, we have some fun stuff to talk about tonight. We hope we get some comments from the crowd, the live sources, and maybe they can give us their opinion on some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. How about we start with what? What do we start with?
Start with one with the people. Let's go with I say we go with She-Hulk tonight. Let's do some She-Hulk. Let's open up with
okay.
She-Hulk.
What? She-Hulk. Okay. Would you like to start us out, Game Guy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So She-Hulk, what is that? No, people may ask. It's attorney at law. She-Hulk is on Disney Plus. Came out on Wednesday. You know, I got to tell you, I'm not really a fan of the Wednesday schedule because it's always it's like 6 days has passed before it doesn't feel as fresh.
Right.
But
This is true.
Because you want a podcast, because we podcast on Tuesdays.
yes,
That's it. Yeah.
yes, I want it to come out like Monday. Let's do
And Game
Monday.
God starts asking us about it as soon as we, start texting. He's like, hey, what you guys think about it?
All right,
So
so
you got to hold on to that.
So I want you to keep that script up there for a little bit there.
Okay.
If you can. So Rob Clark says he's very impressed with the show. He makes sure he put down. There's a couple of dots because I think there's something to say with the dots there. I gotta tell you, I was not impressed with the show. We came into the show knowing that her origin story was going to change a little bit. I mean, that kind of came out the box before the show came out.
I think almost every origin story has changed with Marvel. I mean, literally, almost.
Yeah,
every.
This is true.
I didn't think we got to. I guess you're probably right. We got to accept that that's going to be different. Here's the problem I have with it. I want to cut right to the chase.
Okay.
I'm not going to give much about it. I'll let you guys talk about it. What I have a problem with is I felt like I was watching Deadpool, and what I mean by that is I get that she has a fourth wall skit in the comic books. She likes to talk to the audience in the comic books. I'm not a fan of that. I have a problem with that.
It's Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
I didn't like it on Saved by the Bell either. I have a problem with it, because
It's all right.
because it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Even on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I didn't like when he did it either. So I have problems with those episodes. So that was tough for me to watch. Second of all, I felt like there was a lot of language. I don't know about you guys, but for me, there was a lot of language, and I'm not a fan of that piece. I like to keep my Marvel piece Marvel, but other than that, I got to tell you, who's the bad guy? I don't know yet. So I wasn't impressed with the first episode.
Well, you saw the bad guys. You came crashing through the wall. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's taken down in no time.
I was pretty interested. I was surprised that the fact that they do have language in this particular show, in which it's you wouldn't think this is going to be geared toward an audience quite like they were gearing it towards. And I say that only because if you haven't seen it and you want to watch it with like the family, don't do it because it's they're not ready for that. Particularly the end, because there is an end credit scene. And some of that, it's one of those things. So I agree with you there. I was actually pleasantly surprised that it was better than I thought it was going to be. That doesn't mean I liked it. What it does mean is that it's better than what I thought it was going to be.
The food tastes good, but I didn't really like it.
No, I didn't say that. I said it was better than what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
So
he thought it was going to be. He was getting a real low rating coming out.
The expectation was pretty low.
Yeah,
and so they didn't quite. Look, I'm not going there watching Endgame.
Maybe it was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Infinity War. It wasn't Civil War. It wasn't Captain America. Like it felt like without the Hulk, you wouldn't have been able to introduce She-Hulk, and you wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't have held any weight at all whatsoever in the show. So I don't know if we've watched a good episode yet. This is one that you go, this is the Hulk's episode. This is a She-Hulk's episode.
You're exactly right, Moose. Because matter of fact, in my notes, I put in there, I don't know yet. That's where I'm at. It was okay, and I guess to your point, it probably was better than I thought it was going to be, but it was still just okay. And here's the problem: going to the language piece. When you see in the trailers and you see it, you get that feeling like a Miss Marvel, that it's going to be a kid-friendly show.
Yeah.
So you get that feeling, and then they dump some things in there for you. You're just like, no, I didn't want that at all for what we had coming in. But I'm curious to see where it's going to go, because that bad guy, I didn't feel like that was a bad guy at all. It was just, and I know Moose, you were being funny about it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we're going to see more coming in. So I'm going to withhold my overall right now, because I do think we're going to get more. I hope it gets better. I'm concerned about the language and other things that might come into a family-oriented show. Yeah. At least that's the way you expected it to be.
Well, particularly on Disney Plus, you expect this to
be
that's the bigger piece. And listening to you guys give your feedback there, as I hear you guys, you're right. I think if you did take the Hulk out of this episode, it almost feels like it might have not stuck.
Right.
I think it would have been difficult to introduce her. So the question then becomes: did we see the best episode? Because the Hulk was
we may have.
That's a scary thought. And I actually disagree with you guys a little bit, only in the point of, if we wouldn't have had the Hulk, they might have had the storyline differently, which I thought might have been a little better, because I think that if they would have made a show strictly about the introduction of She-Hulk and who she is, but now she comes in right now and everybody knows who she is immediately. Everybody knows who she is now. She can change on her own at any time she wants to. But I think if they had, and we talk about, we don't always want to, drag it out. But I think if they would have dragged this out with just her a little bit more, that might have been something about her, with her being an attorney. And then later on, she becomes the She-Hulk down the road about halfway through the episode, maybe. I think if they had done that and brought in Hulk in the second episode, the first episode might have been more along the lines of what we wanted. Just my thought.
Most, I'll allow you to retort. If not, I'm going to go ahead and tear this apart.
Go ahead. Yeah, feel free.
Right, so now that we got all the baby stuff out the way and we really got out the obvious, let's call it for what it is, right? This show right now is relying on the supporting cast to prop She-Hulk. I'm going to tell you that from now. And that's what I got from the first episode. There was so many plot holes in the first episode. All of a sudden, the Hulk has a bracelet that doesn't allow him to change, right? Mm-hmm. I have a problem with that, right? The Hulk wasn't smart enough to figure out that he was about to die or in trouble to rip the bracelet off so he can turn into Hulk, I have a problem with that. Right? A ship just came out of nowhere. I have a problem with that. Right? Hey, a little bit of blood came out on top of her, and she's got these new. I have a problem with that. So these things for me became the bigger issue. The fourth wall was kind of like but when you start seeing all those little things, it's like, all right, we had to make things up to make this character happen. And I have wait a minute, what's the phrase? I have a problem with that.
Yeah. Listen, I may
no
be a little
please-
critical.
there's no
I may be a little
pleasing him.
critical.
There's no pleasing you.
Yeah.
I have a problem with all the things that you said. I think the way that she got his blood like a drop. Wait a minute. Doesn't even make sense to me, by the way. The same piece about how Banner's hurt. Come on. Like the Hulk comes out, he can come out anytime he wants. If you remember the phrase, what's your secret? My secret is I'm always angry. And that's the thing, that the Hulk knows what's coming, and he will change to protect Banner.
Correct.
So because the Hulk wants to be protected himself. So I have a problem with that.
Well, and this is why I think, to the point I was trying to make, is this why I think if they'd have done more about her, because they forced him into it, is what it felt like to me. We were talking about, or Rob talked about the forced humor, the comedy, but it also felt like they forced him into this series instead of letting him come in his own way. Because we already know Hulk. We don't need to see him like, oh, we're gonna all of a sudden Hulk can be this person with She-Hulk, and it's like, come on, I want to see the She-Hulk. And then you can come back and say, this is how she became She-Hulk, and then have a grand episode with Bruce Banner and the Hulk in there. That was my point, I guess. If they had done that, we wouldn't have gotten the blood drip. We wouldn't have gotten the accident. We wouldn't have gotten the spaceship. We wouldn't have gotten those things because it would have been an introduction to She-Hulk. Now I feel like it's just they just threw everything into one episode. And what I think they might try to do, unfortunately, I hope they don't, maybe they won't, is try to go back and say, well, this is more about her before. I hope they don't do that. But
well,
we've seen it before.
Here's the other piece that it took her 5 days to do everything the Hulk took 10 years to do, or 12 years. I have a problem with that, right?
I agree. Yeah.
So and I just call it for what it is. Maybe I'm a Hulk fan, right? From Hulk has a lot of history for me. He's been through a lot of stuff. Spider-Man, Wolverine, he's been World War Hulk, back and forth every which way. He's been gray, he's been green, he's been red. I mean, like, there's been all kind of colors for this guy, and even nationalities. But at the end of the day, I gotta tell you, I felt like they rushed it. And you know what? We complained about how WandaVision took long to develop, and they could have gotten rid of the first 3, right? So it's funny hearing you say that, Magic Mike. Like, maybe we gave half an episode to who she was before she was She-Hulk. And maybe they might go back in the next episodes to do that. There's got to be a connection to, we know Daredevil's going to be in it, and as a lawyer, there's some kind of connection there. But again, it's Rob Clark says she's different. I get it, but at the same time, it's like maybe we're getting critical word of the week when it comes to MCU shows. Maybe we're getting critical. Maybe we expect.
We might be.
Are we getting too picky and too and paying attention to the nuances?
All right. Well,
I'm sure we are, but that's what comic fans do,
but
right? We've done it every step of the way.
That's also what MCU has set its stage before, to allow us to do it. But this is absolutely what comic book and superhero fans, all the time. I just got through watching this documentary on Stan Lee, and they did the same thing in house. I mean, they did the same thing in house when they were creating the characters. So there's nothing wrong with being critical on these superheroes. As fans, we're definitely going to be. As creators, they were. And I think that's natural to be, but I think that there has to be a line drawn. I guess they drew the line. They drew it and said, "Oh, this is what we're going with, like it or not." So, but when I think about the ultimate, and I'm not talking about the way future, phase, 9 of MCU, but when I start thinking of, She-Hulk's enemies, like the ultimate enemies of bad guys, there's really none that I can think of. And that doesn't mean they're not there, but there's really none that I can think of that I go, oh, this one was a really good one. Like, I can't think of any super bad guys. Maybe one, but not really. Like Absorbing Man. I mean, this is your bad guy. Like,
Right.
That's just kind of my opinion. So, where do they go with this? Is it just a regular? Maybe, and they might still make it good if they can do that. But I just don't see the future in it as much as other people.
Well, I think we're going to end up liking it, not just as, I liked it, not anything great, because I think they're going to bring in other things, as Game God had mentioned. But Moose, I have to go back to the piece of being critical as fans. We were talking about that. Call it critical, or we want to pick things apart, whatever you want to say it is. But I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the fans talking about these things, you wouldn't know what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
And if you're making the decision as a producer or as a creator or director to go, we're not going to listen to the fans, we're going to go our own direction, you're going to have the problem every time.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to listen to your fans and listen to what people want. And you can't please everybody. I mean, it's not possible.
But it's
however,
not pleasing us at Podcast.
That's right.
Sci-Fi. That's all I think we're worried about.
And that's what I was getting to, which really all that matters is us. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Enough said.
Game God. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to something bigger and that can fly. How about the House of the Dragon, I should say, and HBO Max. HBO Max. This is one of the prequels to Game of Thrones. And going into
can I go first on this?
Can you? Yes, and then it's my turn. Okay, because I want to go.
Okay.
Yes. And I asked that because I did not watch Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And so coming from a perspective of not having that history, I got to tell you, man, this was the special effects, the acting, it was incredible. I love how they put you back in that time, because it feels like you're back in that time. It feels like I'm watching, and I enjoy Lord of the Rings, don't get me wrong, but it feels like I'm watching a better Lord of the Rings, because I feel more immersed in it for whatever reason.
That's some serious words, Magic Mike.
It is exactly. So they did not disappoint for me at all. The only thing that caught me off guard, only because I didn't really know what his character was going to be, was Matt Smith's character, which was Daemon Targaryen, I believe it was.
Yes.
Right.
But I didn't know he was going to be like the antagonist. He was going to be the jealous cousin. I didn't know that. So I thought that was interesting. It was a different take on him as a person from what I've seen before in the past. But there were some things in there that
I'll correct
I was not prepared for.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Uncle / brother, not cousin.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, depending on who you're talking to, yeah.
But I really enjoyed the show, except for the things that I did
You're
not.
Like, whoa, what's it? Oh, yeah. I didn't expect that.
But I am the Captain America of TV shows, of watching TV shows.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Language.
Okay. So I went into this thinking, okay, if they have the writers from season 8 on this prequel from Game of Thrones, we're in trouble. Like, it's not going to go as good as, I think, season 8, right? Or season 7? Which
season
one?
8. Season 8, I believe it was.
So I'm thinking, okay, we're in trouble, because if it's that bad, it's not going to be good. And I was hoping that it would set me back in that time frame of GOT, of where I would feel like, okay, I'm connecting with the same time frame. I feel like I'm in the setting. Kind of like how Star Wars, when you see Star Wars with Rogue One or Mandalorian or whatever, you feel like, okay, I need to be placed in the Star Wars universe. If you could put me in there, then I'm a buyer of what you're selling more than anything else. Because if I don't feel like I'm there, forget about it. They did it. They used it. They used exactly the same place. They are in Westeros. They are, I felt like I was watching Game of Thrones. So they did a really good job at making me feel like I was at home again. And I was a little worried about the storyline. The storyline is terrific. I love where they're going with this. I love the fact that we're connecting a lot of dots, even though you didn't have to see GOT to see this. It'll connect its dots later. If you decide later on, you go, you know what, let me give that a shot. Let me just see where that takes us. You might have some surprises where you have blinders on every now and then on a couple of scenes. But other than that, the story you're going to love, because it is good writing. And Matt Smith did one of the best jobs I've ever seen in an acting. I'm not talking about just for Matt Smith. I'm talking about overall. This guy, hook, line, and sinker. His character is dynamite. I love the way he's playing his character. I can't believe he fits in so well. It's incredible.
All right, let's get a couple of numbers out the way here. This on Sunday. This trended on Twitter for 14 hours. Number one trend, right? It was also number one on Google Trends, right? It cost anywhere from 15 million to 20 million an episode to make.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
All right. When it debuted, it had nearly 10 million people watching. All right. Number one HBO Max show debut. All right.
Nice.
Any of those numbers surprise you?
No. I mean, yes and no. Yes, I'm happy that it received those numbers, and no, because if you know the history of GOT, you know that thing was on fire, and it's so good to have a weekly series. You know, it stinks when you think about, why did they just release them all at one time? But it's so good to have a weekly series you can actually look forward to seeing.
So great.
Yeah.
I agree with every single word you just said there, right? This show right here, almost 10 million people on first episode. That number is only going to get bigger, right? The number is only going to get bigger. Everything you guys said was spot on. The show, the writing, spectacular. It's right on point. The set, you feel like you're there. The feeling, you feel like you're there. I can almost smell how bad it smells over there.
Yeah.
That's the dragon. When they even say you smell like dragon, I'm like, okay. I want my name to be Targaryen, just so you know. Matt Smith. Okay, let me talk about him for a second. Can I get 2 minutes with this guy?
Yeah.
I never liked him in the
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right? I don't know what it was. People were swooning over this guy. Oh, this guy's great, best doctor ever made. Blah blah blah. Like, this guy's just a regular dude to me. Right? And then he showed up in other stuff along the way here and there. I think he's on Amazon for something.
Sure.
I'm like, I can't buy into this guy. I cannot. I am not a buyer. Not a buyer. Please return. Put in the clearance bin. All right. When I watched this show, I thought he had white long hair because this guy is a Targaryen.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, he's got a side of him that's compassionate for his niece, right? He cares about his niece, and they have that language they speak together, right? Can't figure out what that language is, but he also has an arrogant, ruthless side about him, and I love the fact that he didn't win the first joust. He didn't win it.
Yeah,
I love that. That because that makes him human.
That's
right?
good writing. That's good writing right there.
Yes.
Because what you expect him to win.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that he lost and got up and didn't pout about it, right? He got up and was like, I lost. No big deal. Like, he didn't want to lose, but he took his loss, right? The fact that we know that he can be somebody because he's the king's brother, right? But he's not, right? The fact that he says this gold cape means something. Right. The fact that he goes out there and takes what they call a pack of dogs, right, and brings them to the town to clean up the town. Man, listen, this guy for me stole the show, right? And the niece, she's gonna be Ruth. I have a feeling she's gonna come with some stuff, right? This show had me glued. I didn't want to miss a second.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, there were some scenes where you got to go, oh my goodness, what's going on? But this show, the writing moves. I can't think. My vocabulary isn't that vast. It's spectacular. I'm going to repeat that word.
Yeah, you're right. I was happy to see, of course, Graham McTavish in the Tavish in the show, because he's in Lord of the Rings as well, or The Hobbit, and he plays such a great character that he sells that role too of what he does. I love the way he does it. Anyway, I couldn't echo better all the things that you guys said. I am so glad that we have this show. I'm so glad that we're able to witness it and see it every week. I'm not gonna miss a week. It's gonna be that good. So if you haven't seen it, go. I think you put it on your list to see if you haven't already. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, I know that you've seen it. If you're not a fan of Game of Thrones, this might be your opportunity to start up fresh again. Like it were season 1 Game of Thrones. But I can tell you this: if you go back to Game of Thrones, if you watch House of the Dragon and like it, good. Go back to Game of Thrones, and you're going to see stuff that you go, wow, this is good writing, because that's what you're going to get. The writing was so good for 7 seasons. Don't watch the last episode. The last season.
Would you have been able to make the decision that Viserys Targaryen made when he chose
with his wife
and the baby?
Man, I tell you,
man, did you guys have the feelsies on that part when he had to make that decision?
Well, And of course, that was one of those episodes that was tough. One of those parts that was tough to watch. One of those scenes that was tough to watch because of what happened. But I gotta tell you, because it's funny, because I was actually talking about it with the person I was watching with. I was like, he didn't have much of a choice. He just didn't, and that's the problem, because it was, the baby. I don't know if I want to talk about it, because the baby couldn't stay with her for forever, so something had to happen, and so that's why I was like, that it's a tough decision, but it's kind of the only decision you could make.
Well, it also brings you to reality of what it's like at that time. They don't have technology like that now, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And you come to think about it, man, was it like this for everything? Like it was rough. And I guess for me, when I'm watching it, right, when she finally realizes what's happening, man, that was tough.
That's tough.
That was tough, because she was pleading with him and everything.
I can't say that I would have the same. I'd make the same decision. I know that he was put in a place where he had to choose, and he wanted to choose something for his heir. I mean, that's ultimately what his passion was, more over anything else. So I can't say I'd choose the same as him. Although there was a chance that the same result would have happened if he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, that's what a horrible way to.
And I didn't think the child was gonna, not make it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no lead up to
No,
it. There was no.
nothing.
You're just like, you see his wife, on the burial wood, whatever you want to call it. And then they show the baby. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
What a great moment. Then you go, oh, it was all for nothing. All of it
Yes.
for nothing.
Yes. I did a double take. Did I just see that?
I will say that I love the fact that we haven't missed a beat with like things like who the hand is going to be, and who the master of the guards are going to be, or like all those things that GOT had from the original, like
you were looking for them.
The master of coin.
Yeah, you were looking for them, right?
Yeah, like I love that. I love that, because then you quickly figure out, because you've seen GOT, you can figure out the titles and go, got it. I know who he is. Okay.
Well, that's why they didn't have to spend no time introducing any of that stuff.
Exactly. Isn't that great? All of a sudden you go, I understand that completely. It's like knowing that the Jedi and Sith are completely against each other. They are, they're mortal enemies. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to explain there's a good side and a bad side.
Hey, Magic Mike.
Well, and I would even say, from my perspective, because I haven't seen GOT, is that I didn't need that. It felt like, anyway. Now, maybe it would give me more perspective for sure.
Yeah.
But I felt like I didn't need that for this to be the great episode that it was.
It not only would it give you a better perspective, it would be bigger, Magic Mike. When you could still see, who's the Grand Master?
You were looking for the pin.
I was looking for the pin. Like the Master of Coin. I'm like, that's Littlefinger. That's the new Littlefinger.
Yes.
There's just certain things you go, okay, they are nothing alike, or you say, these guys are exactly alike. Like you just see certain tendencies. Anyway, I think it's great.
Hey, Magic Mike, going forward, you answer me or your grace. Did you say it? Did you say it? That scene there, by the way, was powerful. For him to separate the family from the royalty piece, that was big. Hey, listen, hearing you guys talk about it makes me want to watch it again. To be honest with you, the show, and like I said, that's some good wig work that they did on Matt Smith, because that hair.
If you think about same thing with the young girl, the daughter, same with her,
Rhaenyra.
Haven't got all the names yet.
Rhaenyra Targaryen. I have it up here. Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Yeah, but if you see her in real life and see her, you go, man, she looks, it's dead on. You're like, oh wow, she looks so authentic in her hair, in her wig, in her hairpiece, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I just think that's interesting. But I love where they're going with this. I think it's going to be a huge hit for them.
So Mike, are you a watcher, Magic Mike? You gonna watch him? You gonna go forward and watch the next episode?
We'll have to see how the next episode plays out, and I don't mean by the story, but you know what I'm talking about. Other things.
Captain America style.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, just that's
if I knew,
that's why
if I knew when it was coming.
Well,
you can let us watch it, and we'll tell
you know what? I'm gonna wait for you guys to watch it and say, hey, this is the minute that you have to.
No, I'm gonna go like 2 minutes after every single one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah, yep.
Hey, but if you pay for it, he'll give you the right
no.
time.
If you give me, slide me a few dollars, Magic Mike, and I'll help you out.
We might have
Check's
a
in the
business
mail.
there. We might
The
have a
check
business
is in
there.
the mail.
And for that, I'm out.
I will do that for everybody. Actually, there is a website. They don't sponsor the podcast, but I'll tell you the website. It's called commonsensemedia.com. Commonsensemedia.com. If you have a question, if you have your kids or whatever, and you go, I don't know if I should watch this movie. It's whatever movie you want. It doesn't matter. Put it in there, and it'll give you. Sometimes it'll give you those lines, those minute and second marks where you can go, okay, I'm expecting it here, I'm expecting it there. And it's also a good reference to know if you want to have your kids watch a certain episode and learn about certain things. I'm not talking about learning about certain things from a House of the Dragon or
Right.
GOT, but I am talking about learn anything from any of those, any movie that you might have a question about. So
I do have. By the way, I do have Rotten Tomato scores.
Go ahead. Yes, give me the Rotten Tomato, then we'll move on to Obi-Wan.
So House of Dragon, the tomato meter gave it an 83.
Okay.
And the audience gave it an 87.
That's good. Those are solid scores.
So from the She-Hulk peaks, I never got to say She-Hulk got an 85 on the tomato meter and a 71 in the audience, by the way.
That's probably more realistic. 85 is too high. I mean, and we all agree with that because look, they gave House of the Dragon 83. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Of course, this is a better program. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
agree with you.
All right. Well,
I'm surprised the audience score wasn't higher for the
I didn't.
I really am actually.
Yes.
No, I'm not because like we said before, we're still talking about people who may not have even seen GOT, just like yourself. So it's like, yeah, it was good, but you're not going to say how good or necessarily because you don't have the comparison. You don't have that old school, Westeros feel.
Good point.
So, anyway, so I think it's right on the money. I think it's and I think it's going to get even better. So,
yeah, I do think it will get better for sure.
6 episodes. That's what we got.
That's it? 6?
No. That's
Tell me that.
Yeah, you just lost all confidence.
Yeah, I'm rating it a 42 now.
Yeah, right.
Now Obi-Wan is I don't know if you guys have I know you guys have, but the folks listening on the podcast, I don't know if you guys know, but Obi-Wan kind of behind the scenes. Now Disney is getting really famous with this about putting these type of things out there on their streaming site. And I think that's pretty cool. Some people like to see behind the scenes and some people don't. Some people don't want to know how the magic is made. And if you do want to know how the magic is made, well, Obi-Wan is coming out with a documentary series on that kind of thing. And I don't know when it premieres. Magic Mike, did you?
September 8th.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks, Magic Mike.
Yeah,
it's going to come out on it's on Disney Plus Day, September 8th, with a bunch of other things that are going to be coming out. But I gotta tell you, man, when I saw this trailer, I am not one of the people who wants to see behind the scenes. To me, it's like, okay, it's cool, but it's not something I want to spend my time doing. But when I saw this trailer, I gotta tell you, I thought, is this a new series or a new movie? The trailer is done so incredibly well. It makes you feel like you're getting a whole new Obi-Wan series or movie. And I got to watch it now. It was so good. It really was. That trailer was done that well. You feel like I'm in it. I want to see it. And I want to see now you got to have a season 2. Sorry. You have to have a season 2 now.
Yeah. Same thing. You guys told me about this. I didn't catch this. And man, a minute and 17 seconds was way too short for this. As I watched this, it just built up the fact that, man, I want to watch more. It built up the fact that I actually pulled up and told you guys as I was pulling it up the fight scene with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in the last episode, where they made a 9-minute video of all of the whole sequence in one, and just the show itself as a whole. I want to see it. I want to see the behind the scenes. I like that. I like that candid conversation of what it felt like. They were saying in the trailer how it felt like when they first did it to now, and how it came back to them came back to them quickly.
Yeah,
I want to see all that. And then just now, the other thing that reminded me of, and this is something I think I don't know if Magic Mike has gotten into it. I know Moose, you haven't yet. It reminded me of the VR of Oculus, because in Oculus they have this thing called venues, and they're making rooms that are like huge life size, like really giant screens where you're that small and everything else is humongous.
Right.
And when they show it on there, where they show Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, when they had the big view, the big film.
So this, what it said to me was like, oh man, if they put this on Oculus and you can see that on VR, and it's like a 180 degree, because all man, that would be impressive to see Darth Vader over lightsabers, and that close and that big. So it gave me a little goosebumps watching it. I am definitely gonna watch it on September 8th.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I don't like to know how certain things are done, because I don't like to ruin the magic of things.
You know who does the voice of Darth Vader, right?
No, don't tell me. But I love movie I love how movie magic is done, and how it transports me to another place, and it lets me forget about the real world for a little while. Particularly if I know this sounds cheesy or corny, but particularly if you people have to go through different things in life. Just everyday life sometimes just gets tough, and sometimes you just want to be transported away. And music does it. Movies can do it. And you don't like to know how certain things are done. I just want to be able to go, that was so cool. But I do. I'll watch it because I think it's cool. I like watching the meetups and the greet-ups that haven't been so long. Like Hayden Christensen saying that when he saw Ewan McGregor over there, he was like, Obi-Wan, and he saw his hand go up. And that's so cool, man. That to me, I mean, that's just something that you go, it gives you chill bumps. You go, how about that? What kind of connection? How does that make you feel? I just think that's great.
Well, I think the other piece is knowing that you did it, and when you see now, these movies have been out for quite some time, so now you go back and say, man, I can do this better, or you know what, I learned from that, and I'm gonna make it even that much more, right? So I think that these guys are passionate about their roles. At least what it comes across on camera, and they're passionate about their craft, and to see them put this 1 minute and 17-second piece, you can see that these guys were passionate about what they've done. And Hayden Christensen hasn't come back to the screen to do any Star Wars things until Obi-Wan. And so if that tells you anything, that I would think that meant something to him. Or
his bank account was getting low. Yeah, one or the other.
What are the other? What are the other?
What both? Maybe both. I'll say both.
But I gotta tell you, I do it. I do it every time. If you call, I've always said it. You call me anytime and go, hey, we need somebody to sweep the trash around the Obi-Wan's cape. I'd be like, I'm in. Count me in. Let's do it.
But Obi-Wan did tell him from a long time ago, you are the chosen one. So I mean,
he also had the high ground, so he could say stuff like that. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for new stuff. I'm excited to see this. I'm excited for a weekly series, House of the Dragons. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're listening to this podcast and you love listening, we do have some new merchandise. We'll give away. We'll sell it if we have to. And I say that sometimes just to cover the cost of the shirt. That's it. We're not looking to make anything. But we do have some cool stuff coming out. We're wearing some right now if you catch our video, or if you want know how to get one, let us know. Listen, love you guys showing up. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's do it again next week.
I was just leaving.
Nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert.
You've been listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcast4sci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.